So over 5 years ago, I got into bushcraft for the first time ever in my entire life. Up until then, I had never done it before. And upon starting bushcraft, I also gained my first ever bushcraft knife, and that is the trusty Mora knife. And even after all these years, this is still going strong, and I absolutely love this thing. And so moving on forward from there, about a year later is the first time I ever got my first custom handmade bushcraft knife, and that's my Jackal knives, which once again is going strong to this day and has a huge amount of sentimental value and something that I still use. Now, contrary to belief, fast forward all these years later, I don't have a huge amount of bushcraft knives. I have literally about a handful, and all of them have a special place in my heart. They're all very sentimental to me. I'm not a hoarder when it comes to bushcraft knives, and the ones that I do have, I love dearly and I use as much as possible. However, all of that time, in the back of my mind, I knew I wanted the one. That one knife to rule them all, that one knife that I would use the overwhelming majority of the time, the knife that I came to love, the knife that I would use for basically everything that I do day to day. Now, everyone does different things in bushcraft. A lot of people do hunting and things like that, and I just do my thing. So I needed a knife that I know I could go to the vast majority of the time that was custom made to my specifications, that incorporated my logo, that, I'll be honest with you, just looked amazing. So the question is, which knife do I get? There's a million and one choices out there. What handle do you want? What blade do you want? What grind do you want? I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. So I thought to myself, okay, Zed, we'll keep it simple. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to keep a lookout on social media. So there I was, spending the next few years looking around on social media, looking for the one. I saw little inklings here and there. What shall I get? They all look beautiful. They all look really, really nice. But still, I never found that one, the true one. And then one day on Facebook, which I seldom go on, I saw the one. And it was posted by my buddy, Robert Radcliffe. Robert, I shall come on to very shortly. And he had posted up a knife made by a professional full-time knife maker, Harrop. So Loz is based in the northwest of England, a very, very talented knife maker, one of the most talented I've ever seen in the UK and in general. He has a background in professional woodworking, so he knows his stuff, as well as obviously making tools. He's also an established YouTuber. And so, me and Loz connected. We spoke on Skype and we had a really, really long conversation. A super nice guy. And like I said, he knew his stuff. So when I explained to him what I was looking for, I wanted to incorporate my logo. I wanted it to look amazing. I wanted it to feel great in a hand. I wanted it to be able to do anything I threw at it. And obviously I do a lot of green woodworking, right? That's primarily kind of what I do around camp. So I wanted something that was kind of catered around that. And so Lars put his thinking hat on and he said, okay, I'll come back with a plan. And came back with a plan he did. We went through a few series of mock-ups, and we eventually decided on the one. And then he went to his workshop and he got working and working and working on the knife. And then he completed the knife. He said, it's done, Zed. And he put his heart and soul into it after a lot of back and forth. And so I started to see little snippets of pictures and I thought, oh, this is looking tasty. This is looking really, really tasty. And then it was completed. And he showed me what it looked like. It looked absolutely amazing. And everything I had ever dreamed of in my knife. So, you're sitting there thinking, well, what does it look like? Let me show you. And I present to you my bushcraft knife, handmade by Harrop. So let's look at the knife up close and personal. So the knife blade itself is made from 1095 carbon steel and 430 stainless steel forged welded together, where the 1095 is the center core steel for the cutting edge. Now basically 1095 is a great steel for knives, and if heat treated to the optimum temperature, it holds a great edge and is very easy to sharpen. Its only drawback being a carbon tool steel, along with all the other carbon tool steels, is that it will oxidize and eventually rust if not cared for. So forged welding stainless steel to the sides not only stops the 1095 from rusting, it also makes the blade tougher, as the stainless will not harden during the heat treating process, leaving it soft and malleable. The stainless then forms a softer jacket around the 1095, preventing cracking of the 1095 under extreme duress. This basically means that during the heat treating, the 1095 can be left harder without the worry of breaking the blade during use. It also leaves a beautiful pattern along the transition between the two steels, and this is known as San Mai, which I absolutely love. The boundary between the two layers can be seen as a whitish line. This is basically where the carbon crystals from the 1095 have migrated into the stainless during the forging process. Moving on to the handle itself is made from desert ironwood, split in the middle between brass, and then on the other side is antler. The antler itself is decorated with scrimshaw and inked. These are bonded onto the G10 liners and pinned with epoxy D to the tang of the knife. The logo itself is brass inset with the ironwood held with epoxy. You know, when you're working with a creative person, a craftsman, there's always that touch of anxiety. Are they going to come up with something you're going to like? You know, are you going to be blown away by what they've done? I think it's also very important when you work with a craftsman that you have good dialogue. You know, they understand what it is you want. At the same time, you've got to keep your requirements very clear and very simple, and you've got to let them run with it, because that's the whole point of working with a talented artist, a talented creative person, a talented artist, and that is to let them run away with it, to explore their creativity. And I am beyond blown away with this. Honestly, I truly am. You know, I wanted that one knife that I could use the overwhelming majority of the time, that I could use for everything that I do around camp, for all the tasks that I can kind of throw at it. And here's the key thing with this knife. Not only is it truly beautiful, it's designed to be used. That's an obvious thing to say, right? But I know a lot of people that have really nice kit and they don't use it, they're afraid to use it. But Loz was like, throw everything at this, Zed, throw it all. The fit in his hand is fantastic. I've got quite small hands, insert innuendo. And it fits absolutely perfect. Now, we didn't actually meet in person the whole time. And so once again, there's that worry, does it fit well in the hand? But it fits absolutely beautiful. So Loz is truly a creative genius. And I don't say that lightly. I know a lot of knife makers, and they're all very good. Loz is definitely up there with the best. So now, I had the knife. Loz done an amazing job. The question is, what do we put it into? We need a sheath. So I wanted a leather sheath, something that could do this knife justice and be the bee's knees. So enter Robert Radcliffe, who I mentioned earlier on in the video. So Robert Radcliffe is based in the northwest of England. Also, he's based near the historic city of Manchester, and Robert is an extremely talented leather worker and also knife maker. So I spoke to Robert, because I've seen Robert's leather work before and it's absolutely beautiful. And I said, Robert, what can you do? Can you do this knife justice with an incredible leather sheath? Once again, something that I can be really proud to use for many years to come, that looks aesthetically pleasing, but also is durable, is hard wearing for everything we throw at it in the bushcraft space. So Robert goes, leave it with me. My only two stipulations to him were the following. Number one, if he can kindly incorporate my logo, and secondly, incorporate the design work from this so it all kind of fits in together and looks compatible. And so Robert went away. He produced a leather sheath and he sent it to me. Let's take a look at what he's done. So introducing the new custom leather sheath made by Robert Radcliffe for my new custom knife made by Loz Harrop. So the sheath itself is made from the finest quality Italian veg tan leather, between 8 and 9 ounces. The sheaths are lined with pigskin in order to avoid scratching the tool. The brass is all solid brass and bridle quality. Robert has used Phoebing's Pro Oil dyes and EcoFlow antique gels, which are very, very good quality. The logo was hand carved and tooled using traditional carving tools such as a swivel knife, backgrounders and bevelers. The coloured effect was achieved by hand painting the background of the logo with black dye and applying a resist solution to the rest of the logo, so the colour matched my logo colour when the antique gel was applied. Effectively, the resist lightens the final colour. All the stitching was done by hand using top quality 1mm yellow Ritzer Tiger thread. This is generally accepted as the best out there. Robert did not use edge paint on this. Instead, he achieved the finish by gradually sanding with finer and finer micromesh, finishing with 12,000 grit to polish and shine the edge. The sheath was then treated with his own handmade leather wax. So here we have the sheath, my friends. So, like I said, it's pigskin lined, so this protects the knife itself. And I've not seen that before, so that was a really, really great attention to detail. Even the belt loop is pigskin lined, and it fits beautifully. Like a really snug fit, and that's not going anywhere. Literally nowhere, you know, so he's done an incredible job. I'm absolutely blown away by this, and the attention to detail is something I've not seen much on leatherwork at all. And I just love what he's done with the belt loop there as well. And little touches. So for example, on a scrimshaw here along the kind of pummel of the knife, he's continued that on to the sheath here. So little details he picked up on. You know, so even matching the thread colour. And that welt is truly special. You know, I've not seen it done like that before. Once again, it's all to kind of match the colour scheme of the logo. And on the back, he's got his personal logo here. And even little things like the kind of where it attached to the belt loop is at a bit of an angle, okay? Because obviously this is, for me personally, this is right-hand side carry. So when I'm carrying this on my right-hand side, it's at a slight angle, so it's easier to get the knife out. Truly blown away. So these 5 years I've been on the lookout for my dream bushcraft knife setup with the knife and the leather sheath has come to fruition, and I'm incredibly grateful to both of those gentlemen who have just pulled out all the stops and really are at the top of their game. Now, a little sideways trajectory, speaking to Robert about the leather work that he done on the knife sheath. I thought, you know what, you've done such an incredible job on a knife sheath. I'd like the same for my Bacco saw and my Grand Force small forest axe. I'm not one of those people who jumps around with 50 different saws and 50 different axes. I use that same axe and I use that same saw. So I asked Robert, what could you do with that? He goes, leave it with me. And lo and behold, he's done it again. He's done me a Bacco sheath. I can't believe it, look at that. Brass fittings as well, these are all kind of hand fitted by brass. Solid fitting. This is wet molded, so he didn't do a pigskin lining on this. But look at this. He's even done the logo. He's even done the matching of the thread and the belt loop, and it fits snugly. I mean, that is not going anywhere, trust me. So I thought from there, I need to do my axe. And he did my axe as well. Do you want to see it? Oh no, he hasn't. He has. Look at that. So he's made the sleeve here to protect obviously the handle. And look at the incredible work he's done on the sheath. Once again, he's done the same thing with the welt, the colouring and all the sanding down. That alone, the attention to detail, the thread, everything is done to an incredibly high standard. So he's done the tooling of the logo on both sides. So obviously it doesn't even stop there. I went even further. I've got the belt loop for the axe. And same thing once again, brass fittings, all high quality veg tan leather, all hand tooled, hand dyed. This has got the pigskin lining as well as the axe head. so it all matches, and this fits absolutely perfectly. So let's just put this in, and there you go, that's it. Look at that, man, all blinged up, my friends. So after all these years, I am incredibly grateful to have the dream set of tools with all the custom leather work done. So the leather work for the axe, the belt loop and the axe head, the sheath for my backhoe, and last but not least, the main piece, the custom made knife by Harrop and the leather work by Radcliffe. So after 5 long years, I'm grateful to have my dream tool set and custom leatherwork set to go with it. Now, 2 things I need to stress. Number 1, Harrop has done an overview of the process that he's used from start to finish on how he made the knife and the handle and putting the whole thing together. The samurai process is something I've seen very few people do, hardly any. It's a very detailed process, and it's a very skilled process that Loz is one of the very few, probably less than a handful, even in general, let alone this country, that can actually do that and do it to a very high degree. So he's done a video showing the entire process, so you can get an appreciation of the level of detail that he's put into making this knife. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link below to Loz's video, and it will mean the world to me. You go and check that out, and you can see for yourself the process that he's done. While you're over there, hit the subscribe button. He puts out some amazing videos about knife making in general. Also, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a link below to his website, and on his website you can see a gallery of his work and the different things that he does. The beauty with Loz, he's one of the very few knife makers that can actually work with you and cater to exactly what you want. Now obviously he brings his expertise into the whole equation, so he'll be advising you depending on what you're using it for, green woodworking, bushcraft, hunting, etc., or a myriad of those things. And the beauty with Loz is that he brings his experience into the whole equation and knife making process. So if you want to get a dialogue going with him, you can either speak to him via his YouTube channel or his website. So as I mentioned, a video down below on Loz Harrop's channel where he's shown a video of the entire making process. Go and check that out, and definitely hit the subscribe button. Also, Radcliffe has done a video showing how he's gone about making the leatherwork for this as well. So he's done a bit of an overview. So also for his video, I'm going to put a link below to that. If you go and check that out, it would mean the world to me. You also hit the subscribe button with Robert as well. Moving forward later into the year, he actually works full time as a teacher, but he's retiring in the next few months. And once he retires, he'll be going into leatherwork and knife making full time. So if you go over there to his channel, I'll link below to the video, you can see the process he's used to make the sheaths and the leatherwork. And obviously you can get an overview of the meticulous work that he also puts into everything that he does. Also with Robert, I'm going to put a link below to his website. You can go check that out and see the myriad of work that he does on there also. And it's a great way of keeping in touch with him. So there you have it, my friends. Links to both Loz's video and Robert's video down below. If you go and check that out, you can see an overview of from start to finish how they've gone about making the knife and also the leather work, so you can get a real appreciation, as well as I did watching those videos, of the meticulous work that these guys have put into what they do. These guys are genuinely some of the best craftsmen out there right now. So if you're looking to either get some knife work done, your own custom knife, whatever shape and size it is, or custom leather work for whatever it is that you need custom leather work for, I would highly recommend, and I get nothing from recommending this, it's just that I've been so blown away by the work that both of them have done, that I would highly recommend you speak to Loz for the knife work and also to Robert for the leather work also. And like I said, even if you just got questions or queries, definitely hit them up and they'll be straight up with you what they can do and what they can't do. But like I said, I've come across a lot of knife makers and a lot of leather workers over the years, and don't get me wrong, there are some amazingly talented people out there, but I would genuinely say, hand on heart, and I like to think my word means something, and that is, these guys are at the top of their game. They truly are. I've already got in mind other things that I want done now. A certain pen knife I want to get done, and also a couple of bits of tools that I'm going to be speaking to Loz moving forward, and a couple of other bits of custom leather work that I'm going to be speaking to Robert with moving forward as well, because I've seen now what they do. They're so professional in their attention to detail. It's just blown me away. One final thing I want to stress: the leatherwork and the knife are made to a very, very high standard, and they look beautiful. However, don't be fooled, these are designed to be used and abused. The knife, I spoke to Loz, is an incredible detail with the knife, and he's like, throw everything you've got at it and it will be able to stand it. And this is the key distinction I want to make. This stuff is to be used, not just for decoration, you know, sitting on a mantelpiece. This is designed to be taken out and used left, right and centre for everything I'm going to throw at it for years and years to come. And that includes the leatherwork also. The leatherwork is done to such a high standard and it looks beautiful, but once again, don't be fooled, it's there to be used. So my friends, I really do appreciate you watching this video, and I appreciate you being with me on this journey all these years later. And the one final thing I'm going to stress is, remember, I didn't have this for years and years and years. For my first full year of bushcraft, I had my Mora clipper, and I love it, and it's still going to this day. So this is not about what you need to do, what you don't need to do. You know, things come in good time and when it's ready. I waited a long time for this, and I'm incredibly, incredibly grateful for what I finally got. So, final repeat, links below to both Loz's video and Robert's video, and also their respective websites. And it will be awesome for you to go check that out. If you have any queries about things you're thinking you want done, if there's a particular knife you want done, if there's particular leatherwork you want done, no matter where you are in the world, you can speak to these guys. They're awesome, they're great with their communication, and you can speak to them and they'll be straight up with you what they can do, what they can't do. But like I said, definitely go check those guys out. I'm going to be speaking to them in the future about other things I want done. So there you go, that's a wrap for this video. Appreciate, as always, you watching. I hope whatever you're doing, you have a blessed day, a blessed week ahead. Zed, outdoors with a swanky new knife and leather work. Peace out.